Hey, what's happening, everyone? I'm SirJames coming at you guys with another video, and I hope you guys are doing well. Today, I'm here to give you guys my review on a pair of custom Ahsoka Tano lightsabers. And this is pretty neat because this is one of those rare opportunities where I may actually get to check out some of these in my hand. Now, this review was made possible courtesy of a friend of mine by the name Solomon. You may remember his name as he's the one that gifted me the Jedi Master Sifo DS lightsaber, and he needed my help as he wanted to get these sabers, but unfortunately the person he was going to buy from wouldn't ship to his location and asked if I could provide a helping hand, which is exactly what I'm doing, and he did give me his permission to unbox and review the hilts and to make sure everything is fully functional before I ship it over to him. So thank you once again. And the other thing that I also want to note is that these are an older pair of KR Saber hilts. I think these are from his 2017, 2018 models based on what I could find. However, do note that he is working on releasing a newer set. I'm pretty sure it's going to have a lot of nice new updates as far as what these ones were originally. And so anything that I have to say that might be a negative might be updated in his newer release, so keep that in mind. And so let's just go ahead and kind of hop into it. First off, let me give you guys a closer look at the hilts. Because of their awkward design, it will be a little bit harder to use them in my light box. So here is the Shoto hilt right here in my hand as a size comparison. Very nice, and it is comfortable to hold. Now, the last time I took a look at a pair of Ahsoka Sabers, specifically the Rebels version, was the Disney's Galaxy's Edge ones, which I didn't like as they were my least favorite because they were so big and bulky and just didn't like them at all. But these ones here feel so much better on the hands, and I'm glad to finally hold a proper set. But here we are. Here's the size difference between the two right here. Now, as far as the install goes, it is a NeoPixel with Profi, no gesture mode. In fact, I don't even know how one would access the Profi board. Now, in order to actually access the internals, you do have to pretty much remove the screws and to remove the entire plate here to see the inside. This does not have any removable batteries. Instead, it's a recharge port through this end right here. And the same thing is done on this other one here. This is actually a recharge port. Right now there's a kill key on the inside, but you would have to unscrew this and this to remove the entire back plate. On the inside, it does have a nice install done to it. With a crystal chamber added in both of the hilts. The crystal chamber in this one is a little bit towards the top, while this one here is a little bit more towards the center. I will note that between the two hilts, the Shoto one is definitely much louder compared to the larger one here. And the reason why this larger one here is a little bit more on the quieter side is just because the install location as far as the speaker goes, maybe the install could have been done a little bit different, whoever did the installs previously. But I do want to note that you may notice that this one actually has no speaker ventilation that is visible to the eye. However, I believe the audio is meant to come out of these little holes here towards the sides because there's a little bit of a gap. While on the Shoto one, as you can see, there are speaker holes, and the speaker is basically installed right where that is, which is why this one's going to be the louder between the two. As far as the NeoPixel goes, it doesn't have the inbuilt LED option, so the only way you can see these light up is with a NeoPixel blade plug or NeoPixel blade. And I do want to note also too that the blade barely sits in there. I mean, there's not much give as far as the blade length goes, and I would not recommend any dueling with this whatsoever. In fact, I don't even feel comfortable doing any of the clashings just because of how, again, it's not really the best design for the blade, and here's why. So again, you may notice it's a very small pocket there where the blade sits, and as far as the retention screw goes, there's only one tiny little screw here, which my camera can't focus on. There you go, just one little screw there. And the reason why that's a bit of an issue is even when you tighten it, it still feels wonky as heck. In fact, I feel like if this had at least 4 screws or 3 screws, it would probably feel a little bit more secured. But just that one little screw and tightening it on your blade without damaging your blade, it's still iffy. So let me go ahead and just insert the blade so you guys can see for yourself. I'm going to start with the larger one between the two, and the reason why I'm not going to try to dual wield both on camera which I will ignite both on camera at one point, is just because I have no skill swinging 2 individual sabers. I literally don't. I could maybe swing 1 saber by itself or a double-bladed, but 2 individual hilts, I got no abilities with that whatsoever. But we're going to start with the bigger one, and then the smaller one, and then I'll bring the 2 into the frame so you guys can see for yourself. Alright. So on the Ahsoka's hilts, I believe she is using the much larger blade. In this case, I'm going to use a little bit of a smaller blade than what she would normally use. I think she uses a 36-inch blade. But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that one. So for this purpose, I'm going to be using a Vader's Vault 32-inch blade. Just because it would be the one that I'm a little bit more comfortable, and it's a little bit on the lighter side. I would not use any heavy blades with these whatsoever. As long as the blade is on the lighter side, I feel a little bit more comfortable with it, but any blade that has a weight to it, I would not use it whatsoever. So we got a blade installed on this one. And we're going to go ahead and put a blade in the smaller one. Now for the smaller one, I am using, I think these are 26-inch blades here. Now before I had a 28-inch blade, but because I have another saber that I'm going to tease a little bit later on, I have some newer blades to go with those. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the larger one. So if you can't already tell, again, it's still on the quiet side, just hearing it like so. But we're going to go ahead and turn off this main light here. And press the top button. Again, if you're having a hard time hearing it, it is indeed that quiet. And I have no idea how to access the Profi board or where the Profi board is. I've opened it up, and I have no idea where the Profi board is. I was going to see if maybe increasing the volume might help, but again, I have no idea how to, or where the board's actually located. Now, just so you know the difference, let me bring the Shoto one here. Remove.
Why did Kenobi send you?
Why don't you surrender? And then we can both go and ask him.
As you can tell, a huge difference in the audio right there. And even when this is on. So again, crazy, right? Let me bring both of these on camera. Let's see. Again, here's the first one. And then the other one. Yeah, it's a little bit off-putting, the fact that one sounds better than the other. It would have been nice if the audio on this one was also better. And again, on the newer design, maybe there will be some better speaker ventilation, so, or maybe just the install on this one is not the best. So again, it could be a mix of any of those two things.
I'm Commander Tano.
Now, as far as the blade issue goes, is you have just that small retention screw, and I tighten it up as much as possible to where I'm not going to do any damage to my actual blade itself. And again, it doesn't take much. Like swinging this, I can feel the blade looseness. Like if I go left and right or back and forth, I feel like the blade at one point is just going to disconnect itself and just fall apart. This one, not as bad as the larger one, but again, I still feel there is some of that issue. If this had at least 4 retention screws or 3 retention screws, I feel like it would be much better secured as far as the two goes.
There are ways those who have passed on may still guide or influence the living.
I'm kind of being cautious with this.
I did my duty as a citizen. Choose your words carefully. Or would you rather save it for the council? Your vision is flawed.
Jedi, prepare for death.
Even with its design, it's still a little bit awkward to swing too. Now this one's cool. I don't know who makes this fire one, but if you guys know, please let me know. I know the blade style is Fernando blade style, but I don't know who makes this font.
Second, sister.
And there is that. So like I said, pretty awkward one to review, and like I said, just because of how low the blade sits, I didn't feel comfortable or too comfortable doing any form of crazy swings, as you know, I didn't want the blade to accidentally fly off and potentially hit anything. But let me know what you guys think about the hilt. Like I said, the older version here, I feel like definitely has some flaws here. As far as the retention screw section goes, I feel like if it had at least 4 retention screws, that I could feel like the blade being a little bit more comfortable, which hopefully the newer version is updated in that regards, or maybe sits in a little bit deeper. We'll have to kind of wait and see what those look like. As far as the audio goes, again, the only main audio issue, and again, it could be just the install for all I know. I'm not an expert with these hilts. It's the first time seeing them for myself. So again, just on the larger one, the audio could have been done a bit better, or maybe just on the lower side. Again, I'm not 100% positive, as I've never had the pair myself. But I do want to give you guys a little teaser really quick for the next review. And in the next review, we're going to be taking a look at the second sister lightsaber. Yes, this is the Ultimate Works version right here. Finally have it in my hands right now. I'm currently undergoing the process of learning the Asteria board all over again, because it's been a long time since I've actually dabbled with the program, and there's been a few updates along the way, so I have to kind of relearn and retool everything once again, change some of the stuff that comes with it by default, and plus add some fonts on here. But until then, let me know if you guys have any questions. Until then, I am SirJames, and always remember, may the Force be with you.